team, I hope you're all well. Welcome to your first spooky vlog of October. I am going to be releasing a spooky vlog every Sunday for October, so you're going to be getting 5 in total, and I'm really excited. And your first one is a Spoopy Middlegrade vlog. We're going to ease into it with some cutesy spoopy middle grade books, and I'm really excited. In this vlog, I have already filmed it, I forgot to do an intro, but in this vlog I do manage to read 6 different books, 3 of which are actual novels and 3 of which are graphic novels, so you are going to get some really good recommendations from me. And I think this vlog went well. I had a fantastic time. It was really nice to kind of kick off these vlogs with some Spoopy Middle Grade. I haven't read middle grade for a while, so it was nice to do this. And I found myself slumping a little bit at the time when I decided to film this video, so this was fantastic because it really got me back into reading again, and it was a really nice palette cleanser as well. It's really done me the world of good. So I do hope you enjoy this video. We will be starting the video off with The Bellwoods Game by Yesteryear Crampian, which came in an Owl Crate Junior box recently, and I was really excited when I unboxed it. So this one does follow a young girl called Bailey. There is a story around her town about a girl called Abigail Snook who went into the woods many years ago, never to be seen again. And every single year at a certain time of year there is this game that the kids play within town, in which they've got to run through the forest and the woods and ring the bell in order to stop any, you know, spooky goings on for that year. And Bailey ends up taking part this year. It's only a certain year in the school that ends up doing it. Bailey ends up taking part this year, and things do not go as she thought they would. It is beautifully illustrated, very heavily illustrated as well, and yeah, I am excited about this book. Look how pretty it is. So yeah, we're going to get into Past Me, I think, who is potentially halfway, I haven't started editing this video, potentially halfway through this book or has finished it, and she's going to let you know what she thought of this book. That's really weird talking about myself like that. Let's go. Okay, so I'm coming on to give you an update, but I have now finished The Bellwoods Game by Yesteryear Crampian. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. I forgot how much I enjoy my middle grades with illustrations in. This has got a whole bunch throughout, whether they be small or like a whole page or whatever. Like each chapter has a illustration, and then we will have the odd page where it will be mostly illustration over text, and I really enjoyed that element to it. I just had a really good time with it. The atmosphere was really fantastic. Apologies for the traffic, my window's open. The storyline, the plot and everything, and this does kind of leave it in such a sense that it could be a standalone or continue on with another book, which I really enjoy. And I would like to read more from this author if this isn't a debut. I'm not sure if it is or not, but I would like to read more from this author if they have anything else out. doesn't necessarily specify if she does. But yeah, I would love to read more from this author. So I had a fantastic time. I really enjoyed the characters. They weren't whiny or anything. The audiobook was really good and the spooky elements were fantastic, and it just gave me exactly what I needed right now. So I'm really happy with that. I haven't run it through Corpile yet, but I reckon it's going to get at least a 4 stars, if not higher. So yeah, I absolutely loved this. It was great. This might be the first time I've picked up a subscription box book so quickly after it's come in as well, so which is fantastic news for me. So yeah, I am now gonna move on to The Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman. I did kind of start this one this morning a little bit actually. I only got to page 10 and then I started feeling a bit sleepy because I woke up when Andy left for work this morning at 6 o'clock. I woke up at 5:25 with him. Then he left for work at 6 and that was it. Then I started my day. I did a couple of hours of work and then I started this, then decided I wanted to watch some TV and then got moving with my day. So I did kind of start this a little bit this morning. I don't know anything about this, but I know that it's very well loved. And I do know that Jade has enjoyed this one. She's quite happy in picking this one up actually. But on the back it says, nobody Owens, known to his friends as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised and educated by ghosts. There are dangers and adventures for Bod in the graveyard, but it is in the land of the living that real dangers lurk, for it is there that the man Jack lives, and he has already killed Bod's family. A deliciously dark masterwork by best-selling author Neil Gaiman with illustrations by award-winning Chris Riddle. We don't get as many illustrations through this one as we did through the Bellwoods game. I wanted to call it Grave then because of this book, but we do get the odd illustration. This is Jack, and in the first part of the first chapter, the chapter's real long in this, but in the first 10 pages that I've read so far already, Jack has killed, I assume, Bod's family. He is a child, like a really young child at this point. He was sleeping in a crib and he managed to get out of his crib before Jack got to him. Jack was aiming for Bod as the last person to kill within this family, and Bod actually managed to get out of his crib and he's found his way to the graveyard. I assume this is close to his home. I can't imagine he went too far, and we kind of get to a point where this older couple find him in this graveyard, and I'm really intrigued to continue on with this one. So I do have the audiobook and I'm looking forward to carrying on with it. It's already started off with some eerie music at the beginning, so I wonder if that will keep creeping in and out. But yeah, having a good time with this so far. I really want to swap my bookmark out as well. Right now I've got the summer pizza party going on, pizza picnic party. I can't remember what that one's called. Something to do with pizzas and a picnic, potentially a party going on as well. It's always a party when you've got pizza, let's face it. But I'm just wondering if I've got any of my fall candles, I'm not putting a candle in here, bookmarks that up here that I can pop one in. I'm sure I brought some up the other day. But yeah, I'm fairly certain I know what book I'm going to go on to next, but I'm kind of just going to see the vibe, see when I finish this one, and then I will let you know. Sometimes it's great setting a TBR, but right now with the way I'm feeling, I think it's best if I just kind of go with the flow and see how I'm feeling. We do have, Gavin is doing Geekathon this coming weekend, and he's asked if I want to join him on the Friday, and because I've got no other plans in the day, I have said yes. I will go on sprints with him throughout the day, and I think on that basis I'm actually going to save some Spoopy Middlegrade graphic novels for that day so that I can get my geek on with Gavin on Friday. So I'm looking forward to that. I do have a few in mind, but for now we're just going to carry on with the novels and then I will get to some Spoopy graphic novels. I'm not sure how long this vlog is going to go on for, how many books I'm going to get through. I just kind of want to keep going until I'm feeling more revived, because at the beginning of this vlog I did mention that I'm feeling just quite, not incredibly slumpy, but just a little bit slumpy, and the videos that I was in the process of filming just aren't sparking excitement for me at the moment. So I'm just like in complete and utter fall mode right now. I don't know what else to say, so I thought I would get a crack on with filming fall videos. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to carry on with a little bit of this before I go to sleep, I think. I would like to make a decent dent in it so that I can potentially finish it tomorrow and then get on with the next book, because the next book that I'm thinking of reading I'm actually super excited about. Not so much to cover, and you'll see why tomorrow, but I'm really excited about it. So I thought I would pick this one up because it's been on my shelves for a really long time and I know Jade enjoys it. So I'm gonna give this one a bash and I will keep you posted, let you know my full thoughts on it. But yeah, I just wanted to come on, let you know I finished this and I had a great time, and it's really, already I'm feeling better. I don't know how much more, what else to say, but already I'm feeling better, which is fantastic news. So I'm gonna go and get my middle grade Spoopy on. Myself. Hello. It is the next day from when I updated you yesterday, and I'm just coming on to give you another little update and then tell you kind of like what I'm planning on reading for the rest of this reading vlog. Let's do that because that reflection is awful. So I am currently reading The Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman, and I am not quite halfway through. I'm on page 135 and I'm listening to the audiobook, so I've got just under 2 hours left. So I'm hoping to finish this evening. I have to say I'm not enjoying this as much as I thought I would. I don't know what it is about it, but I'm just not necessarily having a good time. This isn't my first Neil Gaiman book. I have read Coraline, but I think that's the only thing that I've read from him. I do have The House at the End of the Lane, I think it's called, as well. So I do have something else from him that I can try as well and see if I enjoyed that. I mean, I didn't love Coraline, to be honest. Is it called The House at the End of the Lane? Oh, it's not in here. I didn't love Coraline. It was very weird. I don't know. I'm just not loving this, but it's fine. I've only got under 200 hours No, I haven't. I've got just under 2 hours left, so I am going to finish it off and get this boxed off. And then I have decided that I'm going to move on to Empty Smiles. I cannot with this cover. It freaks me out like you wouldn't believe. When it first got released, I said to Jade, there is no way I'm buying that book. And as time's gone on, I've just been really mad about the fact that I will have the incomplete set, because I love this series. This is the 4th in the Small Spaces Quartet by Catherine Arden, and I love the series. I have a fantastic time with it, and I do see myself rereading the series like one after the other at some point, because I just really enjoy the characters. We follow, I think is it 3 or 4 different characters: Ollie, Coco, Brian and Phil. And in the first one, in Small Spaces, they find themselves on a school bus. They've gone on a school trip and they find themselves kind of being followed and targeted a little bit by a scarecrow. And I think it's a scarecrow if I remember correctly. It's been ages since I've read Small Spaces. So there is Small Spaces, Dead Voices and then Dark Waters. And there's different supernatural elements in each of them. So Dead Voices is ghosts. Dark Waters, I think if I remember correctly, was like mermaids, if I remember correctly. This one is clowns, and if you've been around for a long time, you will know I'm terrified of clowns. I don't like clowns in the slightest. So this cover truly freaks me out. I'm kind of hoping I might be growing as a person. I read Clown in a Cornfield last year and Clown in a Cornfield 2 because I absolutely loved them. I thought they were fantastic. It was very much a slasher and I had a great time with it. But maybe we're growing as a person. I really wanted to wait until the paperback came out, but it's been a long time now since this came out. I say a long time. I don't know if it was this year or last. 2022. I think it's probably been over a year since this came out and there's no sign of a paperback, so I've had to buy the hardback, which makes me even madder because I have the other 3 in paperback. I might see if I can hunt them down in hardback, then I've got a hardback set. But yeah, I'm thinking about moving on to this one. I can't tell you too much about the story. Obviously there's clowns involved, there's a carnival. That's about as much as I know, but I can't tell you too much without spoiling the previous books because they do follow on from each other. But yeah, I am looking forward to moving on to this, not so much the cover. So that's what I'm going to pick up next. I'm kind of hoping I can finish the Graveyard book and this evening, because tomorrow Gav has invited me onto his Geekend sprints. He's doing Geekend this weekend with his patrons and he's asked me do I want to join for Friday. So I have said yes. Geekend is essentially a readathon that Gav does with his patrons where you get to just be a geek for the weekend. You can read, he kind of like, you can pretty much do anything you want, but he kind of aims it towards graphic novels, manga, gaming, puzzles, anything that the outside world would deem geeky, essentially. So I thought that we could continue on this readathon and geek the heck out with some middle grade manga. So I do have Snapdragon by Kat Leia, which I have had for a while. This is a witchy middle grade. Then I do have Source Line by Sylvia Doyu and Paola Antista. My apologies. Which is a kid called Source Line who's loved studying mythical creatures and is now a student at Professor Archibald Balzar's prestigious school of cryptozoology. She's eager to test her knowledge and earn a spot of one of Balzar's apprentices. But when one of her classmates suddenly disappears, Sourceline finds herself on a journey far dark and more personal than she expected. Sounds great. It's only little. The illustrations in here are stunning as well. Absolutely beautiful. So I've got that one. And then I do have The Ghoul Next Door by Cullen Bunn and Kat Farris. I bought both this one and Snapdragon a while ago. I think it might have been 2 autumns ago now for spooky season and didn't end up picking them up. So I feel like now is the perfect time. And this one is following 11-year-old Gray, who lives in the legend-haunted New England town of Anders Landing, and he can't help but feel like a pair of eyes watching his every move. And I think there's going to be some ghouls, etc. I'll tell you all about these more once we get to them. But yeah, I think that's my plan for tomorrow, is to read some graphic novels, and then that will probably be the end of this vlog. I thought it might be nice to have, like, I mean, I haven't got my other one because it's upstairs right now, but I thought it might be nice to have like 3 novels and then 3 graphic novels. Nice little balance. So yeah, I currently have on an ASMR room, a spooky one. It's got pumpkins on it and stuff. So I'm going to get back to the Graveyard book and continue reading this and get this one finished, and then I can move on to Empty Smiles. But I just thought I would come on, update you, let you know what the rest of my TBR is going to look like for this reading vlog, and how I'm getting on with the Graveyard book. So yeah, I'm gonna go and I will check back in with you when I've finished the Graveyard book, I think. Okay, hey, it's much later. It's now 5 past 10. 10 past 5. It's not at all. It's 5 past 10. I have finished the Graveyard book by Neil Gaiman. I did end up giving this one 3 stars. I wasn't a huge fan of this, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't particularly care about the characters. I feel like the ending was left quite open-ended. It left us with more questions than answers, really. I did enjoy quite a portion towards the end in which we came across Jack, who did kill Bod's family. I enjoyed that portion of it, but the rest of it I wasn't too fussed about. So yeah, 3 stars for the Graveyard book, but I've read it now. It's been on my shelves for a really long time, and I have now read it, so that's great news. And I have then moved on to Empty Smiles, the clown book, whose cover terrifies me. And I'm currently functioning with one hand. 56 pages in. I am a quarter of the way in. This is just over 200 pages. So yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. It does follow straight back on from the 3rd book, which was Dark Waters, and it's interesting. We're getting a couple of different timelines, and then obviously the POVs, which we always get different POVs. In this we follow each of the kids, but one of the kids is not with the others for reasons because of what happens towards the end of Dark Waters. So yeah, I'm having a good time with this one. I actually think I'm going to go up and maybe watch a little bit of TV for a bit. Today has been one of those days where I'm quite ahead with my videos. There is stuff I could be filming, but I've just kind of given myself the day off, if you like. I've been doing some reading, as you can see, but most of it's been this evening. Other than that, I haven't done much with my day. So I'm just kind of coming towards the end of the day. I've been pretty tired, which is ridiculous because I actually had a decent night's sleep last night, and I woke up this morning with a headache and feeling a bit rubbish. So I did go for a little lie down. It wasn't for long, maybe an hour this afternoon, before the plasterer came round to take some measurements so he can give me a price to plaster the back room. But otherwise I haven't done much with my day, and when I have days like this, I get to this point in the day where I'm like, you know what, I really need to get some work done now. I've got to be productive because I've wasted the day, and I've really got to stop doing that to myself, because it's not fair. You're allowed a day off, you're allowed a couple of days off, do you know what I mean? So I've got to stop doing that to myself. So I'm thinking that I actually might go up to bed and watch something in bed. I have to watch it on my iPad. Totally nearly said Bassie then. Backstory: Thomas doesn't say tablet for his tablet, he says Bassie, and he has done since he has been able to speak. He's always called it Bassie, and he still does. Me and Matt are in a position now where we both call our tablets Bassie. So Matt's got a Samsung one, I've got an iPad, and we call them Bassie, which is fine between me, Matt and Thomas, and Tara, because she knows what we're talking about, but everybody else on the planet has no clue what we're talking about. So that's nearly what came out of my mouth as I was about to say iPad. Yeah, I have to watch it on my iPad because my bed is still in the library and I have no TV in that room. So yeah, gonna have to watch something on my iPad, Bassie, and that's okay, that's fine. I can make it like kind of cozy, maybe light a candle and watch something. So yeah, I don't know if I'll watch something spooky, if I'll watch some true crime, I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet. So I'm gonna go up to bed and do that, I think. It could take me a while to nod off this evening, although maybe not, because I am tired still. But because I had a lie down this afternoon, it could take me a while. So I think what I might do is actually try and get up early tomorrow and finish this off. I've got about an hour and 45 minutes of the audiobook left. And then Gav's Geekend starts at 11, so I can read the graphic novels then. I actually might take one of these up with me to potentially read in bed this evening if I feel like I want to read before I go to sleep after I've watched something. So I might do that as well. But we will see. So I'm going to go and get in bed and watch a movie or some true crime or something. And I will speak to you tomorrow. Geekathon, I keep wanting to say. Geekend has started. It's currently 1:15. I'm probably actually gonna bounce after this sprint. But I have just finished Empty Smiles by Catherine Arden. I didn't get a chance to finish it last night. I did end up watching some Netflix last night instead, and staying up way too late. But I have just finished this now. Got very mixed feelings about this, I'm not gonna lie. In general, I love this series. I think it's absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere in all of the books is very, very good. There was a portion of this book where I found myself really creeped out. I don't like clowns, they freak me out. And there was a section in the book towards the end where they're all in a house, and like the characters are all in a house, and all of a sudden they're being terrorized by clowns. And I was like, no, no thank you, no, no, no. And I considered shutting the book and just being done with it. It got that bad. So the atmosphere, fantastic, 10 out of 10. Always love Catherine Arden's writing style. What I will say about this is I feel the end was very, very rushed. Literally in the last chapter, they figured out what they needed to figure out, and that was it, it ended. And I just feel it was incredibly, incredibly rushed. And that's a huge disappointment for me. I wanted the ending to be dragged out a little bit and not be too rushed. Also, one thing, it's great for the other books, but one thing I don't get is this is the first chapter of all the first 3 books. If you're picking this up and haven't picked the first 3 up, you're gonna wonder what is going on. So is it necessary to have this? I don't think so. So yeah, great atmosphere. I just feel like it was very, very rushed at the end, and I feel like I've been let down a little bit with it, which is sad. I think the rest of the series have all gotten 4 stars. I think this one will be lucky to scrape a 3. I'm gonna run it through Corpile in a minute and then decide what I'm gonna rate it. But yeah, I think that's where this is going. I reckon it's probably gonna be a 3-star max. So that one is done, and then we move on to the graphic novels. I haven't decided yet what graphic novel to start. I realised last night as I was debating which one to take up to bed with me in case I started it, that I've ended up picking 3 of the most detailed graphic novels that have the most text in them. for this video, so which is fine. I haven't decided which one I'm going to pick up yet, and I probably won't get a chance to start one now until I get to Andy's in a little bit. So I think I'm actually just going to leave it for now, and I will come back to you and update you, let you know what I've decided to pick up in a little bit. But yeah, Empty Smiles is done, and it's now on to the graphic novels. Same sweater. I only brought one sweater with me to Andy's because this weather just cannot decide what it's doing. I brought a t-shirt as well, but it's still chilly today, so put my sweater back on. I have been to get my nails done. We've gone for a purple and gold flake this time, and I love them. And I'm here to give you an update. So Snapdragon, I did end up picking this up last night and I finished it off this morning. This one is following Snapdragon, who is a young girl, and she is called Snapdragon after a flower, essentially. All the women in her family are named after flowers, and there is a rumour that there is a witch in town, but in reality Jack is just a Crocs wearing internet savvy old lady who sells the skeletons of roadkill online. It's creepy, sure, but Snap thinks it's kind of cool too. However, it turns out that that is maybe not all Jack's is, and there is some magic going on as well. And it's really good. I really enjoy it. I think the thing I wasn't expecting from this at all, actually, maybe I knew when I bought it, but I don't know, I didn't know when I picked it up, or didn't remember when I picked it up, that this is queer. So Snap ends up with a friend called Lou in this, and we don't get a full indication of what is going on with them, but I think there is an indication of potentially some transitioning going on, so that was interesting. And there is queerness as well with Jax, and also Snapdragon just not being 100% certain on her identity either. But I really enjoyed this. I thought it was fantastic. The illustrations, I will say, when I first bought this, the illustrations freaked me out, but I think I just, as I got further into it, I really enjoyed it and I had a really good time with it. So I haven't rated it through Corpile yet, but I reckon it's going to get a 4-star because this was a really good time, and I really enjoyed myself. So yeah, would recommend this to one, especially if you're looking for like a queer spoopy graphic novel. It's very much so spoopy, not spooky. And then we do, it's on the camera lens. Thought there was a spot on my face. And then I did move on to Sourceline by Sylvia Douye and Paola Antista. My apologies. I haven't gotten too far into this. I'm only 14 pages in, but so far the illustrations in this are stunning. Very, very detailed and very pretty. So Sourceline is a young girl who is obsessed with like mythical creatures, and she ends up getting an invitation to go to Professor Archibald Balzar's prestigious school of cryptozoology, which is essentially understanding mythical beasts. And this just kind of goes straight, and it starts off with Sourceline going to this school, meeting her classmates, and there is a vampire involved. And I think Sourceline is going to know a lot more than is, you know, than the rest of the students, but already we see some of the students kind of stealing answers from her before she has the chance to speak up. And I think a little bit of that is going to go on, but I'm hoping that Professor Archibald will figure it out and realise that she is the clever one and not the others in the class, because there is the opportunity to become his kind of like right-hand man, if you like. So I am enjoying this one so far as well, and looking forward to continuing on with this. Andy's currently watching the Liverpool-Bournemouth game, so I'm going to go back in there and join him in a minute to finish watching that off. But I think I'm going to take Sourceline with me and continue on with that. Also, I know I mentioned yesterday that I kind of picked like 3 of the graphic novels on my shelves that had the most words in them. This one actually read incredibly fast, so would recommend for that basis as well. And then the last one I do have is The Ghoul Next Door. So once I've finished Sourceline, I'll come back, give you an update, and then let you know what this one is about, because I am also intrigued to find that out. So I'm gonna go and get on with this bad boy, and then I will come back, let you know my thoughts, and give you an update on it. Okay, hey, I am now back home. I've got my new Oodie t-shirt on that Andy's mum's got me. And I absolutely love it. So, update. Last night I did finish Sourceline, and I really enjoyed this one. The art style in this was fantastic. I really liked where the story went. It does leave it on quite the cliffhanger, so I'm really anticipating now volume 2 coming out. I didn't realise until I started looking for volume 2 that this is actually translated from French as well. So yeah, would recommend, gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it a tad more than Snapdragon, which I also gave 4 stars. I have now ran it through Corpile. So I did really enjoy this one. Again, the art style in this is probably the most beautiful art style I've ever seen in a graphic novel. It's very, very well done, very detailed, and I would recommend picking this one up. So thank you to Georgie for sending me this one. I do appreciate it. And then the final book for this vlog is going to be The Ghoul Next Door by Cullen Bunn and Kat Farris. This one I did pick up, I think, last year for spooky season and just never got round to it, or the year before. I can't remember if I've told you the synopsis of this or not. So we're following 11-year-old Gray, who lives in the legend-haunted New England town of Anders Landing, and he can't help but feel like a pair of eyes that are watching his every move. He even starts to discover odd, gruesome gifts left for him, like little bits and pieces from the graveyard. Items like art carved from bones or jewellery made from, hopefully not human, remains. Soon Gray is caught up in something bigger than he could ever have imagined. He finds himself drawn into a strange mystery involving a race of reclusive subterranean creatures, ghouls, eaters of the dead. Turns out his secret admirer is a ghoul named Lavinia. Gray and Lavinia prove their friendship can go beyond the grave. The only problem is their friendship breaks traditions, and the punishment is a fate worse than death. I'm really intrigued by this one, and I'm really looking forward to it. So this evening I have brought the Patreon watch along of Moon Knight forward a few days. It was supposed to be on Thursday, but it's currently Sunday, so we're doing it this evening. I've been on sprints with Jade while we're doing that, and the first 2 sprints have been actual sprints, and then we're going to be watching Moon Knight in the next one. I'm just making some tea, so if you can hear the hop, that's what's going on. So I'm hoping to pick this up this evening, but I did spend the first sprint filming because tomorrow Derek is coming to sort out the lights in the back room, and also maybe add a couple of plugs in that room as well. So I wanted to make sure that I got something filmed today, like this evening. I wanted to prioritise that before reading, because tomorrow I can read while he's here but not necessarily film. So that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to either finish this evening or tomorrow. I haven't yet started it. So we'll see what happens with this one. So that's what I'm planning on reading this evening. So that is the plan. So I'm going to go continue making my tea, and I will check back in with you when I've got another update for you. Okay, hey, I have now finished The Ghoul Next Door by Cullen Bunn and Kat Farris. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was very good. It was quite creepy, I'm not gonna lie. We're following this young boy called Gray, who's 11 years old, and he's doing a project for school, and one day he ends up picking a penny, but it's the wrong side up. His best friend, who is called Marshall, just remembered, who's called Marshall, recommends he doesn't pick the penny up because it's the wrong side up, it's heads down, and it's bad luck. But he decides to pick the penny up anyway, and then decides to take a shortcut on his own because Marshall won't go through him through the graveyard. He ends up falling and dropping his project into a hole, which then gets snatched by this arm, and he doesn't know where it's come from, the arm or anything. He gets to school, gets in a bit of trouble because he's not got the project, and then that night he gets visited by this creepy creature, and it turns out as time goes on it's actually a ghoul, and they have a fascination with Grey, and she really wants to get to know him and stuff, and he ends up becoming friends with this ghoul, but things do not go as they hoped, and they get a little bit dark. And it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Not a massive fan of the art style, but it's nice nonetheless. It's okay, and it read really fast, a lot faster than I anticipated, so I had a good time with this one and wouldn't mind reading more from these authors as well if they did some more stuff. So I had a good time with it, and I think it's probably going to get about a 4-star. It was good. I had a great time with it. So that wraps up this cozy middle grade spoopy vlog. So let's very quickly just go through what I did read again. So I read The Bellwoods Game by Celia Crampion. I gave this one 4.5 stars. It was fantastic and I had a fantastic time with it. Absolutely love that one. I read The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, which I gave 3 stars. It was fine, nothing too special for me. It was just okay. I read Empty Smiles by Catherine Arden, which I gave 3 stars and was really disappointed with how fast the ending happened, and I'm actually gutted because I love that series. Then I read Snapdragon by Kat Leah, and I gave this one 4 stars. This was really good. I read Source Line, which I gave 4.5 stars. The illustrations in this one are absolutely beautiful and so fantastic. Would recommend. And the second one is coming out soon, I think, as well. And then The Girl Next Door, which I gave 4 stars also. And I had a really good time. This was a really cute reading vlog. I do hope you enjoyed it. Chat to me in the comments down below. Have you got any recommendations for me based off of this? Did you enjoy this video? And yeah, that is it. So I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.